Hello all, this is Mayur Salve, an integration engineer from Rising. The purpose of this video is to simply get you started with an IP interface card that uses the Q7 processor based platform for bridging and routing. The Datum system M500 series satellite modems can include optional IP Ethernet based data interface cards. The smart IP interfaces are called M500, I5 and GI5. The module itself is referred to here as a Q7 because it follows a computer interface standard known as Q7. The Q7 is a complete x86 embedded Linux computer including multiple interfaces typically found on a common personal computer. There are two flavors of these interfaces, I5 and GI5. I5 is a high performance IP interface and GI5 is a dual G703 plus a high performance IP interface. Our goal here is to introduce you to this card, show initial setup, show command line and show GUI methods of the modem control from these cards. The I5 and GI5 are the new series of interfaces in continuation with the old SNP cards that are already used. This new series of interfaces is way better compared to the SNP interfaces in terms of number of packets to be handled without any addition of delay while processing the packets and also the packet loss. These interfaces are capable of handling 30,000 packets per second in comparison with 6,500 as far as the old SNP cards are concerned. The I5 and GI5 are the IP interface cards that use the Q7 processor based platform for bridging and routing. The Q7 Linux software contains virtually all of a standard Debian OS overlaid with the Vyatta router system. Datum Systems has modified both Debian and Vyatta for this application and also added modifications to support M500 and M7 series of modems. The Vyatta router provides an industry standard, open source and a very consistent router facility. The Vyatta command line interface is similar to Juniper or Cisco IOS, but it is unique. All the same functions, however, should be possible. Here is the picture of GI5 interface. It's a dual G703 plus high performance IP interface. Now it's a time to go ahead with the operations, handling and configuration of these interface cards. Upon the modem startup, it approximately takes 1 or 2 minutes for the Q7 to boot completely. There are two ways to configure these cards using Vyatta system, either using command line interface CLI or web-based graphical user interface GUI. However, modem link configuration parameters can be set from the front panel. The console is a standard serial RS-232 connection on the rear of the interface card. You can use hyperterminal or PuTTY in order to get into the configuration of these interface cards. The computer serial port or USB to serial adapter needs to be connected to the physical DB9 console port on the I5 or GI5 card. Here is the picture of USB to serial adapter. Before connecting it to your system, you need to make sure the necessary drivers for this cable are installed on the computer. Now let's have a quick look at the command line interface configuration of this device. In order to get the console of the device, I'm using the putty configuration, select the desired COM port on the screen, select open. The window would be visible on the screen. Press enter. It will ask for the login and password. The default login and password is Vyatta. It will take you to the login prompt. There are two types of prompts available. Let's see what are the prompts. The leading dollar prompt is shown in normal operational mode, while the hash prompt is shown when you are in the configuration mode. Let's have a look at the operation prompt. The command syntax and the operation to access the commands is very simple. Press tab in the prompt. You'll get all the possible options for configuration. Let's type show. Press tab again. Tab is used to complete the command. Press tab again. It will show all the possible options that are available under the show command. If you press tab again, it will display the entire list of possible options. Press space to access the further output of the command. In case if you want to exit from the output, press Q. Instead of tab, you can also use question mark for the command completion. Let's see what are the possible options available under the show command. Let's press tab after show. Let's see the configuration command under the show command. It will show you the entire configuration of the system. Let's press tab to complete the command. Let's press tab again. It will give you the further extension of the commands. Let's see all the configuration that is available. Press tab again. It will complete the command, and after that there are no options available. That means the command is complete and you can press enter. It will give you the entire possible configuration that is on the device. If you want to exit, you can press Q anytime. We can explore the other possible commands. They are very useful commands like show ARP, bridge, configuration. If you have configured the interface for DHCP, it will show you the DHCP statistics. Then history also is an important command. If you want to view the history of commands that you have typed in earlier, you can type the history command. The command is complete here, and it will show you the whatever commands you have typed in earlier. Another important command is show version. If you want to see the uptime of the device, this command is used. We'll put show version all, and it will give us the entire statistics, entire details, and here is the uptime of the system. Other details also can be viewed here. We can press Q anytime if we want to exit. Another important command here is show log. This command here it will show us the system log that is available. There are two options under show log and show login. We have to see the log. It will show us the log of the device, so it can be used for the diagnosis and troubleshooting of the device. Then we also can see the interface configurations here. Show interfaces. Again we'll press tab, then if you want to see the Ethernet interface, we'll type in Ethernet. Then here are the possible options: Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1. We can choose any one. If you want to see both, we'll select detail, and it will give us the detail of the interface, what IP address is configured, what are the traffic statistics, total number of packets, error packets, drop packets, collisions. So some important statistics can be seen on the interface with this command, show interfaces Ethernet detail. We can explore other show commands as per the requirement. So as of now, these commands would be quite helpful. Show login, show NAT if you are NATing, show reboot, show shutdown if you have scheduled any shutdown for the device. It will show you in case if you have. Right now no shutdown is scheduled for the device. Another important show command could be show system. It's in here, and it will give you the number of possible options available. If you want to see the uptime of the device, again you can use another command, show version. You can also use show system uptime, and it will display you with the statistics. You can also use a command, show hardware. This is it. If you want to see the CPU statistics, you can use this command, and it will show you the CPU statistics. If you want to see the memory statistics, you can see it here. It shows the complete command, and here are the memory statistics: total memory used, free memory, buffers, cached, and lots of other details are available here. Under the show command, you have many options available. Then other than show, there would be other commands that you can use. Here is the ping command to ping any other IP device. Here is the restart if you want to restart. Here is the telnet if you want to telnet any device. Here is the reboot, so you can explore many other options. In Vyatta, all configuration involves going into the configure mode, setting or deleting the parameters, committing those parameters, and finally saving the changes to the configuration file. Now I'll take you through all these operations in the configuration mode. In order to get into the configuration mode, you have to type configure in the prompt. You can press tab, press enter, and the prompt changes. Here you can see edit on the prompt. Press tab to view the list of commands. The important commands here are set, delete. Set is exactly the reverse of delete. Save, then edit, commit. The configuration prompt is all about using set and delete commands, then using commit followed by save. So let's get started with the set command. You're in the configuration prompt, type set followed by tab. After tab you'll get a number of options available on the screen. We'll start with the command service. Here you can set the telnet and SSH commands. Tab again, and here it is, telnet. Then you can set SSH services here, and as well as HTTPS services. In case if you need to access the device using web console, HTTPS needs to be activated. Let's see how can we set the telnet option. It is not set by default. We have to set it accordingly. In order to set the telnet services, we have to use telnet. Then we have to assign a port. The telnet configuration already exists here in this case. So once again I'll press tab. It shows port 23. Yeah, as said earlier, the specified configuration node already exists, but in case if telnet is not set, in order to set the telnet services, you have to type in this command. Similarly, you can set the services for SSH. It is already there. Again, it will show that the configuration for the node is already existing. In order to set SSH, you have to type in this command. I'll take you through the HTTPS services when we have to enable the HTTPS services in order to access the web services. The another important command in set is system. So in system you can configure the system host name, the console parameters, the gateway address to the system, etc. You can also set the login banner, as here. You can explore the other options as and when required. Now let's explore the interface configurations. I'm pressing tab. Here is the interfaces, wherein you can find all the interfaces. You can configure all the interfaces here. Set interfaces, tab. You can set the interface for bridging. You can set Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1 for the operations. And here is the description of the possible interfaces that are available. The LAN is always the standard Ethernet gigabit Ethernet port on the rear panel of the interface card, and its interface is Ethernet 0. The WAN is an internal custom interface which connects to the modem, and its interface name is Ethernet 1. So whatever changes in the interface configuration that are to be done on Ethernet 0. The Ethernet 0 interface IP address configuration can be static or DHCP. By default, the Ethernet 0 is configured with a static IP address. Before changing the interface configuration, let's see what is the present configuration that is present on the device. In the configuration mode, you can use the show command in order to view the configuration. Show interfaces Ethernet. I'll press enter, and this is the configuration that is present on the device. It is set with an IP address 10.10.10.1 by default. We can change the Ethernet interface IP address and other details. Let's see how to do that. And we have to, in order to set an IP address to the Ethernet 0 port, we have to use set command. Then it shows the list of possible options, interfaces. Then we have to select Ethernet, tab again, Ethernet 0, again the tab, and we'll set an IP address first. So we have to type this command, and if we want to set the IP address for DHCP configuration, we can directly type DHCP and press enter, or else if we have to assign an IP address manually, we can directly type in the IP address manually. If we type tab here, it shows us the syntax of the command. If the command is incomplete and you enter, it says invalid IP version for address. So we have to type in the correct command, 192.168. For an example, we are setting 1.1/24, and we will press enter, and it takes the command. Now let's set the description for this interface. So this command till here stays the same. We'll type in tab, and we have the description option available here. So we'll type description, tab again, and it says you have to type in the text. So we'll type the text, whatever description we have to set, and it should be WAN link or something that we want, and we'll press enter, and now the description for the device is set. Now in order to save these changes, we have to commit, press enter, and then we have to type in save, press enter. Changes to the configuration have been done successfully. Now if we want to see the changes that we have done are reflecting in the configuration, we'll type show interfaces Ethernet 0, it shows us the configured IP address, the set description, so that whatever configurations we have made, they are getting reflected in the actual configuration. Now let's see how to delete the configuration. Instead of set, we'll use the delete command. That's it, and when we press enter, it takes the command, and we have to, in order to take the configuration to the effect, we have to first commit, then save. Now let's see whether the changes are getting reflected. The description that was set earlier is not there now. In order to exit from this prompt, we have to type in exit, and it allows us to exit if we have some unsaved configuration. For an example, this command, we haven't typed in commit and save yet, so if we simply try to exit from this command, it will not allow us to exit. We are still in the same prompt, so we have to type in exit discard instead of exit in order to exit from this prompt. Now let's set the device for bridging operations. In order to do that, we have to type in set interfaces, then we have to type in bridge, then the syntax is bridge br followed by the number, so it should be, for an example, br10. So let's see whether it has been successfully created. Commit save, then we'll use show interfaces, enter, and it shows the bridge 10 interface. Now we'll assign an IP address to this interface, so we'll type in the command followed by tab, and here is the address option, so we can directly type in the IP address as desired. Well, commit, save, and now let's see whether it's getting reflected in the configuration. It is there in the configuration. So this is how we can set the bridge ID and the bridge IP address to the interface. You can explore other set commands as per the requirement. Along with set interface commands, there are lots of other options available, for an example Ethernet, so we can modify these details as and when required. So we are now almost through with the command line configuration of these interfaces. Now let's have a look at the HTTPS configuration. In order to be able to view the GUI using HTTPS, you must enable it using the command line interface. So let's see how can we set HTTPS for the GUI. Type in the command set, then we have to type in the command service. It gives us the option of HTTPS, so, and it completes the command. We have to type in enter. This is the command to set the HTTPS services. Commit, save. The GUI is an alternative user interface for interacting with the Vyatta system. By default, GUI is turned off. Any operation that can be performed using command line interface, except for enabling the HTTPS, can also be performed using GUI. The GUI essentially reflects the structure of CLI. In particular, the command hierarchy in the GUI follows the basic CLI configuration structure. Also, an important note is to configure an IP address to the interface, that is the Ethernet interface, before trying to access the GUI. If the IP address is not set, we cannot access the web console through GUI. In order to take the configuration into the effect, you have to restart the system once. After reboot, all the changes, all the configuration that has been done will take into the effect. In order to get the HTTPS console, we have set the HTTPS services. We have set an IP address to the interface. We need to assign an IP address in the desired network to the computer from which we are accessing the interface using GUI. Make sure that you are able to ping to the interface using the computer. In order to access the GUI, you need to type in the corresponding IP address that was set earlier, which is 192.168.1.1, which we configured for the interface. Press enter. You will be asked for username and password. By default, the username and password is admin. It will take you to the modem configuration parameters, so you can access all the modem configuration parameters using this web console. Here is the unit info, all the information, whatever information is required you can access using unit info. For accessing all these tabs, you can click the corresponding tab. You can also click for help. It will show you the use of these tabs. Modem, these are the modulator and demodulator parameters. Then here you can see the interface configuration, the buck LNB configuration, unit configuration, in order to access Vyatta configuration, you have to select IP, then you have to click advanced. You'll be taken to another web page. Click OK. It is asking for username and password. It is admin again. Type enter, and you get all the access to all the parameters. Whatever we had access to the command line interface can also be accessed using the GUI. Here is the configuration prompt that was available on CLI. This is the operation prompt, and you can see the exact parameters that were available on the command line interface are here available, so you can explore the desired services. For example, interfaces, Ethernet, whatever we had configured, Ethernet 0, and it will display you all the desired configuration. In case of any changes we have to do, we can do the changes using this interface. In case if we have to delete all the configuration of Ethernet 0, it will be deleted using this tab. We had set the bridge. Let's see what is the bridge configuration, and it's displaying all the bridge configuration. Bridge ID here can be seen, and in case if you want to delete, here is the delete option, so we can explore all the options that are available here. As can be seen, the GUI is way simpler compared to the command line interface, and it is recommended to use this interface instead of command line interface. So that brings us to the closure of this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice time ahead.